We spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos about Morocco before we traveled there. We couldn't help but notice that most of these videos are made by reasonably young people. So we decided to make our own. We're not young, but we decided to travel for a month with backpacks and only the vaguest idea of where we were going. So, welcome to our traveling series where you can watch short, to the point videos showing each place that we went to. Enjoy.
Going to Marrakech
And how are we going to get there?
by CTM bus.
You ready to go?
Ready to go
Let's go.
to hop on the next destination.
It seems the majority of Europeans flying to Morocco arrive in Marrakech, while North Americans arrive in Casablanca. We got to Marrakech from Ouarzazate in the southeast by an easy and comfortable CTM bus, which took about 4.5 hours with a lunch stop. All right, so we're in a small town somewhere about maybe 2.5 hours out of Marrakech. Doesn't look that great of a town, but it's here. It has a couple of open restaurants, which is amazing. All right, we're in Marrakech, very first time ever. And we've just arrived about 4:30, looking for a taxi. All right, so we got the taxi. We can't say with any certainty where we're going. All right, we're in the square. What are your first impressions? Marrakech.
It's more touristy, bigger.
We stayed right in the Medina, as we had done in Fez, Tangier, Rabat, and other places. If Marrakech is your port of entry into Morocco, this is probably your obvious choice. Being in the center of things, the medieval nature of the place will blow your mind. If, however, you've been in the country for weeks and have fully experienced Medina life, you might consider staying just outside the old city, as some might feel a bit exhausted by the crowds. We chose a comfortable and friendly riad at the end of a dark alley. It was just fine. And we've arrived. The Google Maps did not steer us wrong. We found our place, and here it is. Now it's just a matter of looking for a chiso and then checking in. We mostly spent our time wandering the alleyways of the old Medina. We did visit a few tourist sites, namely Bahia Palace and Yves Saint Laurent, and of course Jama El Fana in the evenings. Now, full disclosure, I grew up listening to Marrakech Express. And I watched Jimmy Page and Robert Plant's 1994 Unplugged, where they played and recorded with local Moroccan musicians in Marrakech. I had visions of the two of us listening to amazing music being played in the square. Well, we didn't find it. Perhaps the hippie version of Marrakech is no more, replaced by a somewhat sanitized, tourist-oriented shopping experience. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, of course. Just be sure to know what you're in for. We stood in line to see Bahia Palace, which was pleasant enough, but somewhat crowded with tourists looking for the perfect Instagram Photoshop. Again, if you're just arriving to Morocco from Europe, this palace will impress you. If you've been here for weeks, however, you might have the feeling that you're caught in a bit of a tourist trap, as you follow the crowd from room to room. We walked to the Yves Saint Laurent Museum, only to find more long queues. We quickly learned that tickets would cost about $40 Canadian for the two of us. And we needed to buy them online. And there are no more tickets available that day. So we left. Your eating options in Marrakech are many. From the numerous restaurants surrounding the square to the street food on ground level, you'll be spoiled for choices. Our Riyadh manager had two pieces of advice for us upon arrival. The first was to eat in places away from the square, and the second was to avoid the street food. And this we did. We were surprised by the openness of the Medina, particularly when compared to Fez. It has a friendlier, more open and welcome feeling, and therefore is probably more appealing to tourists. Like Fez, the Medina can be crowded, and the legions of tourists can be good targets for pickpockets. Watch your stuff carefully and keep your eyes open. This being said, we had no experiences that were negative at all, and found Marrakech to be a safe and welcoming place to foreigners. We stayed in Marrakech for 3 nights after traveling through Morocco for 3 weeks. Personally, I didn't find the artistic hippie experience I was looking for. I was all shopped out after many Medinas and was a bit unimpressed with the tourist traps we visited. By comparison, Marilyn liked Marrakech a lot. She loved the shopping and felt much more at ease when compared to Fez. What do you think of Marrakech?
Well, first impression, I like it right away.
Why?
It's more open air, sunshine.
As I mentioned, if this is your, entry into Morocco, you'll probably be amazed by the city. If, however, you visited at the tail end of a multi-week trip, you might have a bit of a been there, done that feeling as you watch the crowds in Bahia Palace or Yves Saint Laurent. Or you might just love the shopping.